So you've been doing this work for the past 5 years?
Here in Jacksonville, yeah. I've been at this for over 10 years.
Oh, where else have you been besides Jacksonville?
Well, you know, I went to school in Southern Illinois, so I did a lot in Southern Illinois. Been doing a lot in Los Angeles, where I currently live.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was in the Navy, so I did it a lot in Italy, in Spain. So all this developed when I was overseas, and I realized that I didn't have to speak their language in order to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So this was really based on the idea of using music to communicate with people, how people feel, how people react, and rekindling people's innate ability to want to move.
So you said you've traveled a lot from around the world. Do you think that's helped you to learn more about other people and be able to help teach other people? And do you think you've picked up different kind of dances from around that you can show?
Very good question. Right? When I traveled a lot with the Navy. But my focus was always finding a salsa club. And then I did realize that Russians dance salsa a little bit different. You know, French people dance salsa a little bit different. In the end, however, it is like having a different accent, but the same language. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was like 18 years old, 19, 20, 21. And I was going to go to college in Carbondale, and I said, if I have to study something, I want to study this. What just happened? You know, I just came back from Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Istanbul.
And you said, let me study dance.
And I said, let me study. Initially, I said, let me study dance, but I realized that choreography is not my strength. That's why this Dancing with the Stars thing, it really tests my ability, because I cannot choreograph anything. Mm-hmm. So my partners are really doing an amazing job with me because they're helping me.
Now, you said you try and mix like a lot of cultures to keep people interested. What do you have to say for your own culture that you mix into this?
My own particular culture is Peru, all right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think I go very in depth about Peruvian culture. I think that it's really hard for me to define one culture that I want to emphasize over another. Mm-hmm. So I try to make it less cultural to the point where, you know, this dance is going to be about this country or etc. Mm-hmm. But I do emphasize the fact that if you learn this step, mm-hmm. you can interact with these many cultures. Because coming from the sociological perspective, I also think that there's a professional value to what I'm trying to propose here for those who can benefit from it. If you're learning Spanish mm-hmm. in order to give yourself opportunities in the emerging global economy, and you understand the value of speaking a second language such as Chinese or Spanish, mm-hmm. then I'm proposing that learning a few steps in Latin dancing can help you with your competitive advantage. So you can kind of imagine, and if someone from Jacksonville learning a few salsa, merengue, bachata steps, right? Mm-hmm. That if you look around and say, well, what can I do with it here? It might be a valid question. But when you're looking in the perspective of how can I use this around the world, mm-hmm. it does give you an opportunity to do it in Spain and Rome and Paris where they do dancing. So if I was to send you overseas to close the deal, so you spend all day negotiating deals, let's say, mm-hmm. and you're having that business meeting at the restaurant, and it's going on until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And music comes on in the background, Latin music. Let's just say one in the group likes to dance. You know, after you sign, and that person starts shaking it, and you, representing the business in Jacksonville, can get up and shake it with them and do a couple of salsa turns, merengue mm-hmm. turn. You're not just bilingual now, you're bicultural, or at least a little closer to it. And I think that's what I want to give from that perspective. No one will argue with me if I said the golf course is a great place to network and build trust in business. I'm proposing the dance floor has the same.
So it's the same thing, just put into a different culture, exactly. You know? We golf.
That's right.
You might dance.
And we salsa. Salsa, that's right. You know? And I'll take anybody up on that. Like, I can't golf. That's why I have to do it on the dance floor. We came to this country over 20 years ago. Didn't speak English, but I spoke Spanish very well because I went to school, mm-hmm. and as a fourth grader, and I was eager, excited to learn. I learned new words every day, mm-hmm. but then I would have my moments of complete epiphanies, like what's going to happen here. I'll give you an example. We had a fire drill, and the fire alarm was going to sound, they told me, and we were all going to get up. And the teacher said, so everyone, when the fire alarm goes off, we're all going to stand up and head outside, etc. Julio, you understand? And I said, yes, of course. I speak English. How can I not understand? So at 2 o'clock that afternoon, all the kids start standing up and they start heading out, except for me, and I'm sitting down going, what's going on here? You know, these kids don't understand. They're gonna get in trouble. But I'm the only one sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher gets mad at me, and I was completely taken aback. It's like, how are you mad at me? I'm the one following directions. She's like, no, Julio, what did I say? You said when the alarm goes off to get up. Now, what are you waiting for? Waiting for the alarm to go off. It's going off. No, it's going on, right? When the alarm goes off, I can't hear it. No, Julio, when the alarm goes off, it means it's on, and then...
That's one of those things where they say the English language is one of the hardest languages to learn. It's because we do things like that.
I was telling a group the other day, it was funny because I was teaching a dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, ladies, you start on your right foot. Guys, you start on your left. And this guy goes, oh, yes, the ladies are always right. And I'm like, oh, that's right. And when I said right twice, it reminded me of another story, which was when I was first learning English, I would sit in the back of the car. My uncle and my aunt would be in the front. And I'd always hear them talk about directions.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt would say, or my uncle would ask my aunt, honey, we're going right, right? And she would say, right. And then I'd always see the car go to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of weeks, I would hear this conversation. Honey, we're turning right, right? Right. All right. Right. And then one day I was in the front seat and I felt comfortable enough about directions. I said, Uncle, we're going left, left.
That's another one of those things, because we have words that mean different things but are said the exact same way.
We're going right, right?